Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with the best mortar evolution deck in Clash Royale. After cycling 2 mortars, your third mortar will be evolved, giving it 20% higher health, 25% faster hit speed, and it blasts a goblin at your opponents with each shot. I'm not gonna be lying, sending a goblin flying at your opponent with each mortar attack is absolutely overpowered, especially when you have a mighty miner or hog rider in front that your opponent is focusing down, because then the goblin's free to do game-winning damage and hand you free wins. The world champion Mohammed Light is using this mortar evolution deck because it counters all the others. Mortar and buildings get deleted by earthquake, allowing your hog rider to break through and get value. And having the evolved mortar with hog rider in the same deck gives you multiple ways to win. Professional players love this deck's defenses. Mortars defend your opponent's win condition while attacking their tower at the same time, while the efficient musketeers, mighty miners, ice spirits, and goblins give a source of endless positive elixir trades. It's time to blast our opponents with our flying goblin friends and assert dominance. Lots of love to everyone that's using critical SirTag to make all the daily videos possible. If you don't have mighty miner, use Valkyrie or Royale delivery. So getting into the game against someone from Camelot, this guy's gonna go for the prince in the back. He's really throwing it back to medieval times right now with princes and dragons. So I'm going to go in for an Ice Spirit to try to pull the Dark Prince directly into the Musketeer so I can spend minimal amount of elixir to finish everything off. Then I'm going to go in for a Hog Rider to tank for the Musketeer so we don't take any damage. And I think this will be well worth it. The Musketeer stays healthy, our opponent can't Fireball to blast it back, so he's going to have to spend extra elixir with units. Also, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't want to Fireball that anyway, but I just want to get maximum value from that. Okay, so we can go Goblins last second. I don't think he's going to zap, but there's a chance. Also protecting our aggressive mortars every single time with goblins or maybe an ice spirit. It's really fun. Wait, he's going to end up having elixir collector. That's why we love this deck. The versatility and adaptability that it gives is hilarious. So this guy might be thinking that, oh, it's just going to be like a mortar bait deck. Nah, dude, mortar earthquake. You can't get any cheesy elixir advantages with that elixir collector, and you're going to be on the back end with a ton of tower damage every time. So I want to see if I'm able to defend with just mighty miners and then using mortars on offense and try to get that evolution as much as I can. If our opponent doesn't have electric dragon, the mighty miner is going to be your surefire way of breaking down any big beatdown push. So yeah, I just want to go for the mighty miner right now, and I don't want to go and cycle my mortar. As I said before, I want to see if this will work out. I think it will be good enough. I'm going to log just to make sure that the golem doesn't get out of range. Then I can click the bomb from the mighty miner, and then I can go for an ice spirit afterward. And wait, that worked out perfectly. I don't know if you guys saw, but the baby dragon got blasted to the other side. That was such a solid defense. And then it's going to get even better for us. We're able to stack up multiple musketeers, or as I said before, we can go in for the mortar here. I think the mortar will pull the Dark Prince if I needed to. I wonder if this is worth it. Is it worth it? Yeah, the Dark Prince gets distracted by the mortar. It's so derpy to see that, right? You would never expect that that would be a reasonable play, but the mortar actually finished off the Dark Prince and applied aggression at the same time, forcing out a full Prince from our opponent. I wonder if the Musketeer is able to clap it. Wasn't able to simply shut down that rest of the Prince. It did a lot of damage on my tower. So now I'm going to go through with Hog Rider and then also the Mighty Miner, and then I can follow through with another mortar on offense. Ideally, what we do here is just let the Mighty Miner disintegrate the golem, then I can go and stack up multiple musketeers and shut down the rest of his stuff. So typically, if you're going to have Royale delivery instead of the Mighty Miner, you're just going to be using that right now, but since we have Mighty Miner, we want to use the blast back as much as we possibly can. Then we're going to go in for goblins and make sure that we can pull everything to the middle, and then use the Mighty Miner ability in the middle, and the Mighty Miner stays in the middle because it goes to the opposite side, but obviously, since the opposite side is still directly in the middle, if you mirror it, that's where it's going to be. So I can go in for an Earthquake and walk with a win, and as you guys can see, this deck is really good at crushing any big beatdown player. This deck can defend all day. Every defense felt effortless. Yo, this guy finished 106 in the world, so he's definitely going to be really good at the game. First things first, we're going to go for an Ice Spirit and see what he's cooking. You guys know the deal. We want to go spam our mortar as much as we possibly can, and whenever we see Mother Witch, we're expecting it to be a Royale Giant deck. What other decks are there in the game that are running Mother Witch in the meta? Maybe like a Bridge Spam deck with Elite Barbarians and Monk, but it's not played that much. So I'm going to go in for a Mortar on the right-hand side and let our Musketeer do its thing on the left against the Inferno Dragon. He's actually going to have Electric Giant, so that's not necessarily ideal for me. It's still something I can work with if I play this perfect, though. So if you guys didn't know, you want to go Ice Spirit with your goblins, so then the goblins don't get shocked by the Electro Giant, so you can get maximum value. Then we're going to try to go in for an Inferno Dragon counter with our Musketeer, and notice how our Musketeer is placed in a spot that the Electro Giant's not able to like damage it down. Also on top of that, we were able to finish off the Inferno Dragon, kill the Electro Giant, and get up 400 damage in this interaction, despite not having my mortar in my hand. So that's the worst possible case scenario, is playing against Electro Giant, because every other big beatdown push, like maybe a Giant or a Golem, you would simply shred with the Mighty Miner. Any other win condition, easy cleanup. Electro Giant, when you don't have Mortar in cycle, is still viable for you. So I'm going to go for a Mortar here, and we'll see what he decides to do. I mean, I could go for an Earthquake. There's a lot of different things at my disposal. I just want to go in for a Hog Rider, though, because it's going to be a bit cheaper than going for an Earthquake plus Mortar. It's just going to be a lot of elixir spent. Also, from what I'm seeing right now, my opponent likely doesn't have a good response to this, right? If we're... Oh, the Mortar still got a shot, though. Wow, right as it was about to leave the map, it gave me a partying present. I hate when that happens. Musketeer will be able to shatter the Inferno Dragon. I don't think my opponent's going to end up having a spontaneous freeze in his deck. Like, if he had Fireball or Lightning, it still wouldn't be that bad for me. So at this point, because our tower is relatively low on the left-hand side, I gotta play slightly more safe. I can't be going in and spamming my Mr. Mortar man at the river. It's just not gonna work out so well for me. So I can go for a Mortar on defense here, and then I can go for Goblins afterward and do the exact same placement that I did before. Or alternatively, we can go in for the Mighty Miner Bomb on his tower and try to take everything out. Wait, I think I can take everything out. Maybe this is wrong, but I believe it's going to work relatively well. Mighty Miner's on the tower. He's going to go for a Barb Barrel, but he doesn't have just enough. He has to go for a Tornado too. That's huge value for me. All right, we're going to have to go for a Mortar and an Ice Spirit just to retarget the rest of his Inferno Dragon so it can't kill my Mortar. Then I can go for an aggressive Earthquake. He's going to have Lightning, but I wonder if the Mighty... Ooh, wow. He didn't get another Mortar shot. That's ridiculous. Usually Mortar shots always lock onto towers, but I guess not today. Also, it's fun to see other people running an Evolved Mortar as well. See, as you guys can notice from our deck, because we have a quicker card cycle, our Mortars are just getting more value. All right, we're going to drop a super high Mortar here and then drop our Musketeer here, so then our opponent can't get maximum Lightning value. Even if he decides to go in for like an Electro Giant Tornado with a Golden Knight, the Golden Knight is such a bad card in Clash Royale right now, and Mighty Miner is simply superior. Despite our opponent having ways of shutting down our Mighty Miner, it still stood strong, and it was able to do disastrous damage to the left-hand side, functioning as a win condition even when it wasn't great on defense. It was a shocking start against Electro Giant, but in a good way. Somehow we came out ahead without having our Mortar in cycle to pull the Electro Giant, and we still got more damage than our opponent. Especially against a player that finished 106 in the world, it's pretty cool. So cruising into the game against Carlos, who finished top 300 in the world. Definitely going to be a pretty intimidating opponent. I'm going to go for a Hog Rider here to body block the Inferno Dragon. I don't think we get much damage. We do get a hit, though. We drop back the Inferno Dragon slightly. So whenever I see a Baby Dragon and Inferno Dragon, I'm fully expecting a Balloon deck. So it's not going to be an easy matchup for me. But it's winnable if I play this extremely well. So I'm going to use the Mighty Miner Bomb. I'm going to blast back the Inferno Dragon. There's no chance he's going to be able to get away with a freeze anymore, because if we kill the Inferno Dragon, that's the main scary thing. Baby Dragon, it will get like 1,000 damage, but it's not going to take my tower. I don't think it would be worth the freeze for him. So what is he going to do? He's going to go in for a Lumberjack in the back. Definitely going to be that Lumberjack Balloon freeze deck that I was expecting earlier, right? Yeah, so there it is. We got to go in for like Goblins, so maybe the Lumberjack doesn't explode near our balloon, please. Okay, it's going to explode near the balloon. Feels bad, man. How are we going to defend this? I think I'm going to take a ton of damage. I mean, I can go for the Mighty Miner Bomb and blast back the balloon, and then maybe he's not able to make a freeze work because he doesn't know how much HP is going to like lose from the balloon. It's not something that is an interaction that most people know. So it's usually you could go for a freeze if you're like, oh, you know, the snowball is definitely not going to kill my balloon here. But the balloon getting damaged down by that bomb, it made things slightly more scary for our opponent. He didn't try to cheese me. All right, so I guess I go Mortar in the right-hand side. The more I think about it, the Inferno Dragon being out of cycle means that I will get a lot of value with this because he has to go Baby Dragon, right? Baby Dragon's not going to be enough to go and counter that. The Mortar is super thick, and it's just going to do a lot of damage as it goes. Goblins are spawning every single second. We're getting mini Goblin barrels on our opponent right now. All right, we want to go in for a Mighty Miner to go and pull the Baby Dragon and then also pull the Bowler. If you guys didn't know, the Baby Dragon will always follow that if it's dropped in the middle, and obviously the Mighty Miner is going to go back towards the Bowler, so we kind of did like a double pull there. It was cool. All right, so I need to go in for a Hog Rider most likely, so then we can go and stop the Lumberjack from being a threat, and then I can go for a Musketeer, and then maybe I can go in for a Balloon counter with a Mortar. This is really not good. Wait, whoa. Did you guys see that? We pulled back the Lumberjack, so the Lumberjack was not able to hit our tower. It was locking onto Goblins instead. That was wonderful, actually. All right, we're going to go Mighty Miner on the right so we can probably demand more of a threat from our opponent. We know he's not back to freeze for the left Inferno Dragon because he used it already on offense. It's looking awesome. If we can get one more Hog Rider hit, I'd be happy, but it didn't happen. All right, we're going to have to go in for a Musketeer here. Probably have to go for Goblins. Just don't want the Lumberjack to hurt me. I could go in for a Mortar. I think I need to go for a very high Mortar this time just to hopefully go and protect us. If we can keep the musketeer alive, then we'll win. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, wait, the mortar locked onto the tower, interestingly enough, too. Okay, cool. Do we want to go on the right-hand side and do dual lane pressure? Because we still have the musketeer alive. I kind of want to get more out of that. I don't know if it's possible, though. I'm going to go for goblins and ice spirit, because if you think about it, our opponent doesn't have barbed barrel in cycle because he just used it on the mortar on offense. So if he doesn't have that, we want to apply more aggression. All right, we can go for a mortar on defense here. He might spam in the other side, which will be totally okay. I'm going to set up a musketeer just in case he does, and he does. He falls for our trap card. The musketeer locks onto the balloon. He has to freeze on the musketeer, but if he freezes on the musketeer, then he's going to have literally nothing for the defense of the hog rider. And the defensive mortar on defense against the bowler probably wasn't the best decision, but it was pretty fun. All right, we want to go in for another mortar aggressively and cycle back to multiple of them. I think I can, because if you think about my card cycle, since I did end up having the 3-card cycle of the Mighty Miner, we're already back to a mortar. So if he goes in for a balloon, he might not expect it, but we are going to have a good counter to it. Does the mortar get a shot on the tower? It was so close, man. Whoa, these games are ridiculous. All right, he's going to go in again. He's going to go and try to push it, but it doesn't work out. We can go in for a Mighty Miner. We can go in for goblins. And then I think I can get away with an ice spirit and then maybe even go in for a musketeer on the other side. The main scary thing for me is this baby dragon. I don't know if we can kill it, but I think the musketeer can. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just getting unfounded belief in this. All right, when you go in for a mortar on the left-hand side, he's going to tornado. I need to start cycling like a madman. So we're going to get 2 musketeers down. With the mortar evolution, we will walk away with a win against one of the most annoying decks in the game. All we had was a musketeer for anti-air defense, but that's all we need. Popping a balloon deck that's played by the rank 366 player in the world feels phenomenal. So getting into this one, you guys know the deal. We're gonna be rushing through with the mortar whenever we can, and we're gonna go for the mortar immediately. The guy's gonna have ice spirit, so I bet he's gonna end up having some cannon or maybe a bomb tower or something. So I was trying to go for the Mighty Miner and then maybe getting him to drop like a building that the Mighty Miner would be able to tank for. I think if I click the ability with the Mighty Miner, we wouldn't get that much value, because going directly into a knight and knocking that back, sure, that's okay, but the Archer Queen, it was pretty far away, and we were going to kill the knight anyway, so worked out pretty well for us. He wastes his Archer Queen ability, doesn't have that in cycle, and the mortar slaps his tower for a single shot. So I can go for an Earthquake depending on what he wants to do. If he's going to go Skeletons, that's not going to be enough. He's going to go for Tesla directly into the Earthquake, giving us at least 1 Hog Rider Hammer hit, or I guess a log from our opponent. So he ended up dropping a solid 7 elixir there for a 3 elixir Earthquake, and that's good for me. I'll take that all day long. I'm going to go for an Ice Spirit, and he's going to go Expo other side. So let's go for Mighty Miner last second, and then go for Musketeer. So notice what I did. I went for my Mighty Miner first, so then the Expo would be targeting onto that instead of the Musketeer, so the Musketeer could snipe that safely from a distance. So now looking at the guy's situation, I don't think he's going to have his Tesla back in cycle when he needs to. Oh, he does. Wow, that was really surprising. Well, I mean, was it really good for him? I don't think so, because his Musketeer counters on the right-hand side were extremely limited. So I was like, yo, he's going to have to respond to that Musketeer, and then he just proves me wrong, and he ignores an entire Musketeer and counters the Hog Rider instead. Maybe that was the right decision. I don't know. But he did take a lot of damage regardless. No Tesla in cycle means that I can go for a Mortar. If he's going to go for Archer Queen in the back, Archer Queen is his best counter to the Mortar in his entire deck. And then Tesla is his second best. But generally, the reason why you would never be cycling your Tesla on that is because you want to save your Tesla to go and counter my Hog Rider. So what I'm going to do is whenever we see an Archer Queen coming at us, I'll go for a Mighty Miner on top of that. When he goes invisible, then I click the Mighty Miner bomb and I go to the other side. Generally, it's not the best decision in the world, but since we end up having some damage on the right-hand side already, and I'm just going to log on top of the Expo, I think it's A-okay for me. Also, we know for a fact that my opponent is going to have to go in for a Tesla on top of this Mortar right now. So when he does that, let's go for a Hog Rider and make sure we body block the Tesla and finish it off that way. Oh, is he not going to? He's going to go Tesla on defense instead. So he has nothing to kill this besides an Archer Queen that we can body block with an Ice Spirit and then a Mighty Miner afterward. The Goblin also distracted for a short period of time. We can go for a log, click the Mighty Miner bomb because I'm pretty sure that the Archer Queen has to walk into that. And now the Expo is just not anywhere in sight while the Mortar is blasting him with all of our might. Wow. Dude, the Mortar's still in the tower? The Mortar is just giving us a Goblin each shot. And then the Hog Rider is going to tank for this next Goblin too. Wait, the Goblin's just locking onto the tower and loading up insane damage. The Goblin still wasn't dealt with. That's ridiculous. Oh, I love it. The fact that you can wiggle a Hog Rider through and then the Hog Rider is getting targeted by everything. Meanwhile, your opponent just has to deal with the Goblin with other units. A lot of times they're not going to pay attention and then you just get a ton of damage. He's going to go in for the Evolved Skeletons, which starts to become a problem, but it's not a massive issue yet. We can go in for a Mortar here on defense, and then as long as no Skeletons touch anything, we're A-okay. I'm going to go for an Earthquake. High chance that our opponent decides to go in for a Fireball or something funny like that, but I don't think it's going to work out because we can go in for our Goblins and Ice Spirit, And, ooh, wait. We need to knock that back. Oh, thank goodness. We got that to retarget with a thick Mighty Miner, man. Okay, so we're going to go Hog Rider on the right-hand side, and I wonder if that Tesla even pulls. I don't know. I guess it does. He just drops it preemptively. Unfortunately, my Earthquake doesn't hit it in that specific placement, so that was well played on our opponent's end. The Archer Queen makes this matchup way more difficult than it should be. We're going to go in for Goblins here. We're going to go in for an Earthquake. We're going to go for an Ice Spirit, and I think I can get away with the Log and be A-okay. Maybe I'm wrong today, but I believe we're going to be okay. So especially with the Goblin split on both sides, it's fine. We can go in for a Mortar here, plus like our Mighty Miner. I'm not even going to click the bomb this time. I think we're going to go Hog Rider instead, and then go in for some Earthquakes as well. Since we end up having the Mighty Miner on the field, we are going to cycle back to 2 Earthquakes quite quickly, and I can get a Mortar down, and then just cycle 2 Earthquakes and win the game. So this time, because the Mortar evolution was so thick, I felt safe to cycle my spells and finish off the game. Even when your Expo opponents have Archer Queen, which is typically a phenomenal counter to Mortar, Mortar evolution is simply the superior siege deck. All right, we got another top ladder player. No top, no party is what his clan is saying, so... Dude, we've been playing against a lot of really good players today. Hopefully, we can add you to our collection of wins. So, I want to go in for Goblins on the right-hand side. Our Musketeers are going to force out some extra elixirs, so we want to go and cycle stuff so we don't leak anything. Man, we're just playing against higher ranked and better players each game we play Clash Royale. That's what happens early season when everyone's trying to push Ultimate Champion at the very start. We're going to go for Mortar here. We are going to be able to destroy the rest of his wall breakers and get a Mortar shot on the tower. Maybe 2 if we're lucky. Please, 2. Come on. Come on. Give me 3. I want everything. I want our opponent in utter misery. Oh, okay. This is not going to be the Mega Knight deck that I thought, because I looked at his name. I was like, Mega Knight. But is he running Mega Knight with Goblin Drill? I bet you he is. Cycling the Mighty Miner here is not great, because we want to use that to counter the Mega Knight. But it is what it is. It be how it be. And we're working with what we got. So I'm going to go and use the Mighty Miner ability, try to go and shift our weight around, go to the other side, see what we can make happen here. I'm going to go for a Hog Rider so the Mega Knight doesn't jump. And then maybe we can go for Goblins depending on what we're feeling. Yeah, Goblins are not going to be enough. We got to go in for like an Ice Spirit and then another Musketeer and just eat a ton of damage on the right-hand side. Notice what I did. I was wiggling around with my Musketeers, and literally, if you look at my card cycle there, I had nothing on the ground, so I had to make sure the Mega Knight wouldn't jump, and then just damaging it down with range cards. And this top ladder player didn't think I was able to do that, because with the Mighty Miner out of cycle, it's very difficult to do. So I surprised him, and I'm proud of myself, guys. I'm going to go for an aggressive Mortar here. There's a chance he goes Inferno Dragon. It's totally fine, because I think we still get a damage on the tower, ideally, right? If it... Oh, seriously? That's just sad. That's just awful. It feels so bad to watch the Mortar just sit there and miss. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm missing out on this interaction, not gonna lie. All right, without having log in cycle, how am I expecting to defend this? Yeah, I gotta cycle back to a log. I think that's really the only opportunity that I have. And then I gotta go Goblins on the other side. We are in a really bad spot. This guy has moved his way around me and outplayed me. And now he's gonna just outplay me even further with an Arrow's prediction on our Goblins. So, as you can see, this is probably one of the better players in Clash Royale. He's not giving me many openings, and when he finds openings, he's always punishing me. We can go for a Mortar here. I kind of want to go in for a Mighty Miner on the other side and then go for a Musketeer. I wonder if we're going to be able to reset the Inferno Dragon and then go Goblins afterward. You know what? It did work out. I just don't know how well it worked out. That's the thing. All right, Ice Spirit, finish it off. Yo, the Mortar's still alive. We can go for the Mighty Miner ability. Maybe distract whatever he decides to drop and have the Mighty Miner, you know, give us some extra value. Cool. We can go for a Mortar here. Make sure we can go and pop his Skeleton Barrel. Then we can go in for Goblins on top of the Drill. And then we can go in for a Log afterward on top of everything that's about to pop. Non-stop aggression from our opponent. He is just barreling through with value. All right. I want to go and cycle more Mortars because I don't think my Hog Rider is going to break through a Mega Knight, and I'll probably just give him positive elixir trade. So let's not be that stupid. Let's go in for an Earthquake here so we can slow down the rest of his stuff so the Mortar can give us one hit on the tower. I think that's well worth it. He's going to go in for a Drill on the other side. All right, we're going to have to log, and then we're going to have to wait and see for his arrows. Yep, that was just obvious. I didn't want to make a mess up. I think we're still going to be able to shut everything down. I played that about as well as I possibly could have, knowing he would pre-arrows me. All right, I bet he Mega Knights here on the left, or on the right, sorry. Yeah, he's not doing it immediately. Interesting. I thought he would. All right, we can go for the Mighty Miner ability. Go and pull back the rest of his bats as well. I wonder if I can log. If I can just log on this, we should be A-okay. Gotta go Goblins as well. Whoa! The Goblins on the right took out his tower and I didn't even notice it. Gotta be honest with y'all. Evolved Mortar pops through with such absurd value that it shouldn't be possible. I had an Inferno Dragon on my right-hand tower, a Goblin Drill coming down, and bats right upon my tower ready to steal the game, but we somehow survived an impossible push and stole his tower in the last second. And our Mortar deck completely carried us to beat someone that's ranked 124 in the world with over 3,000 medals. Just for reference, I'm a top 2,000 player in the world at 2,500 medals, so beating someone that good is pretty ridiculous. And honestly, we owe it all to the overpowered Mortar evolution and our flying goblin friends. I can't wait to keep climbing with this Mortar evolution deck and launch up even more ranks. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.